All right, we are back here doing pop culture on the podcast. The music I play is probably way too serious for what we're talking about today, at least the first half of it. We're talking supermarket sweep first. Joining me today are pop culture correspondent and a true supermarket sweep fan, Sam Derosa is here. Sam, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me back.
Not a problem. I've lost count. I will let you know after the podcast what number it is, but you are still number 3 on the all-time list.
Ballin'. I'm slowly gonna be making my way to number 2, sneakily.
Yeah, Joe's got to watch out. Joe D is the guy you were right behind.
Watch out, Joe.
Yeah. She's coming for you, Joe. Just putting that out there. But how has life been in the post? Since the last time we came on and we did the fall preview here. What's been going on?
Yeah, pretty good. Trying to catch up on all the TV I can, starting new shows, trying to watch as many movies as I possibly can digest. Watch some Netflix things that I won't talk about because I'm sure we'll talk about them sometime soon. So just trying to digest as much pop culture as I can before things get back to normal.
That might be a while, but I will say I'm in. We talk about the game shows over the summer. I'm sort of in game show overload right now because I feel like there's a game show on every night of the week, at least somewhere.
Yeah.
And I even picked up the new version of Weakest Link. That's how obsessed I am with the game shows.
See, that's dedication there for you.
Yeah. Jane Lynch is funny. I don't think the show is as good as the original version was, but it's nice background filler if you're on the treadmill or you're working on stuff.
And we also need just new material anyway. We haven't had that much new TV, have a lot of new TV basically, new programming and stuff as of since March really.
Yeah, we have not, but we did get a brand new block of game shows on Sunday. ABC had brought back Who Wants to Be a Millionaire again. Card Sharks is back again, but this thing we're going to start off with is Supermarket Sweep, the big revival of the 80s and 90s game show. Leslie Jones back as the host. You and I watched the premiere. Initial reaction, were you thumbs up, thumbs down?
2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this too. I think from the reaction I read on Twitter, it was if you liked Leslie Jones, and Leslie Jones is the host, and she's very passionate about the show, which I loved. If you liked her, you liked this, and if you did not, you didn't.
Yeah, and the way that she said it, she's I wanted to be on this show. I auditioned for this show. So you're all right, so she understands the supermarket sweep life. So, it just makes it, I don't know, it just makes it feel better in my eyes.
Yeah, because, the thing I loved about Leslie Jones is being there is that she loves this show. She wanted to be there. She was excited for these contestants when they were running down the aisles, grabbing stuff. And she was doing the announcements during the sweep. She was like, you got to get stuff. You got to get stuff. You can't leave your cart there and not put anything in it. I'm she gets the show. She loves it.
Yes, and also just she's just such a good motivator. I feel if I had Leslie Jones yes, you're doing you need to do this, go do this, I'd probably be in shape to probably run a freaking half marathon, get all my work done before 2 in the afternoon because she's that motivating.
She is that motivating. I mean, plus the show starts out like it does. They start out with the Push It real good as the theme song. They have her running out of the aisles like David Ruprecht used to do in the original show, and you're all right, we got this. This is going to be fun.
Yes, she is. I really did enjoy watching her. I'm sure nothing's going to change, but I still hope that this coming season's the same amount of Leslie.
Yeah, I think they did a good job with this one, not trying to stretch the format over an hour and sort of doing what Match Game does. They have 2 separate games in one episode. I think that's probably the right way to approach it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and we'll start out here talking about we're gonna spoil a little bit about the premiere, which obviously if you care about spoilers of a game show, you're in the wrong place. But we're gonna break down some of the key things here, and I did think it was interesting that they had the team names going on here because the first game I remember we had Team Sugar, Team Biscuits, and Team Wings. I was looking at this why are we calling these names Team Sugar or Team Biscuits?
Yeah, I was a little confused about that, but then of course Leslie's oh, why'd you choose this name and stuff, which I thought was pretty cute.
Yeah, if you had to come up with a name for your team, what would your team name be?
You know what's so funny? I was literally watching this. I'm damn, what would my name be? But then I guess it would depend on what kind of partner I had. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just if it was with my brother, we'd be Team Nachos.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's all I thought about since, you know what I mean? Like, that's as far as my thought have gone. Because, like, who else would I want to do supermarket sweep with? Because he's just really tall.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, your brother Joe would be a great guy to run this week because like he's got the quick access for all the top shelves. Like he's got all that stuff going on. He can be a good sprinter.
Yeah, and he's like way more in shape than me, so he can like run faster, and he has long legs. On top of that.
Yeah, so like let's throw a hypothetical out here. Let's say you and I were going on a team. What would our team name be?
I don't know. I feel like we would have to like sit down and talk about our favorite foods and stuff. I don't know. Do you have a name for us? Because like I'm like trying to think.
I feel like we and I have discussed off air. We like the s'mores frappuccinos. Maybe Team S'mores, just as an homage to that.
True, but we couldn't probably use frappuccinos, so we would just have to be Team S'mores.
Team S'mores, and then like we could just ask Lively Jones to ask about like we like s'mores. That's all there is to it.
Exactly. We'd have to like respect this Starbucks name and ABC affiliates. Like.
Yeah, for sure. And like speaking of the team names, I did pull a clip from when Leslie Jones asked Team Wings about their name, and I gotta play this, get your reaction to it.
Why Team Wings?
We love chicken wings.
Okay.
I'm a boneless guy. I love all the flavors.
Okay.
Ryan, when he eats chicken wings, he puts on gloves.
I have gloves. I love the wings. I don't like getting the wing sauce on my cuticles and my nails.
Wow. Okay, well, thank you, Team Wings.
Thank you.
Thoughts about that? Would you put on gloves to eat wings?
Heck no. Like, I get it. You don't want it in your cuticles, whatever. That's a very, very, like, I don't know, type A personality maybe to, like, do. Also, first off, who likes boneless wings more than, wings with bones in them? Like, when you think chicken wings, you think wings with bones, flaps, drums.
Yeah.
Not boneless. That makes it almost chicken nuggets. Like, I didn't understand that at all.
Yeah, I just also love Leslie Jones' reaction. She's like, well, okay then. Like, she had no follow-up at all. She was like, let's just move on.
Yeah, she was like, don't talk to these weird white men. Like, honest.
Yeah, I did love it. I did love that. And those guys did not do too well in the sweep, although I will point out, the inflatable they grabbed, you saw the donut they grabbed, right?
Yes.
I actually had that inflatable for my pool.
You have the same one?
The exact same donut.
That's hilarious.
I saw that. I'm like, saw the guy grab, like, oh, I actually have that. I just got to slap a sticker on it. I can pretend I'm running the sweep right now.
Right? You're what? It was like it was worth $150 or something?
Yeah. It was like worth $150. And I think the fun thing with this show, obviously, besides that, like, I did like that they revamped some of the pricing games. I did take some notes on them. We had Sweep Right, which was basically their idea of like making fun of Tinder, where you just have to name profile facts about a brand and you get that right. The logo game, I think, is fun. You and I have talked about this on there. I like the idea of like, we're going to show the logo a little bit at a time. My favorite one was sort of slogans. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was fantastic because it's basically, I'll let Leslie Jones tell you. Actually, I did pull a clip on that one as well.
This game is called Sorta Slogans. I'm going to take a popular slogan, replace the brand name with my name, and put my own spin on it. Buzz in if you think you know the correct brand, and you will win 10 seconds. I'm so excited. All right, here's the first one. I'm cuckoo for Leslie Jones.
Yeah, I think that one was just so funny because she gets so into it.
It's so funny, and funny enough, that's the category of like, the game that I did best on. Like, the logos were low-key hard, and I was, like, so impressed because, like, the contestants didn't even, like, some of them just did the first round. Like, it was, like, a green blob. And they're like, oh, like the Jolly Green Giant. And I'm like, how the heck did you know that?
Yeah, I saw one, too, where somebody just saw the silhouette of the background. They're like, Ortega. I'm like, what?
Yo, exactly. Yeah. Everyone was like, how the heck did you get that?
Even Leslie Jones like, wow, you guys are smart. How'd you get them so fast?
I mean, honestly, I think that was the two women, Team Sugar, who have like 9 children.
Yeah. Between
them, I think they spend a lot of time in the grocery store. So I guess like hats off to them for grocery shopping 24/7.
Yeah, there's that one. Then they also have the game called Scrambled Eggs, where basically they put like the letters on egg cartons, so like the rip off of the original, where you would sort of mix up words, try to figure out things. I think this could have been better if it was actually products and not just like items of food.
Yeah, and I also didn't do so well with that one. So.
Yeah, because my mind went to the classic game. Okay, like what brand is this? And it's like, oh, it's like tiramisu or something. I'm like, wait, what? We're doing just the actual food?
Yeah, so I mean, like, I guess that just gives them more of, like, an ability to, like, use words than brands,
Yeah, I
but
guess.
maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, maybe I might be wrong too. And the sweep we get to now, we get we get the sweep. These teens have minutes to run through the store, do whatever, and all this. Leslie Jones is the announcer for the sweep. Were you a fan of her announcing style?
Of course, because she's Leslie Jones. Like, she's so funny.
Yeah, like, my critique here is, like, I like Leslie Jones. I just think, like, we need a little more information than we got. Because I like Leslie Jones for her element of, like, oh, like, getting passionately involved and being, like, this big supporter and, like, pointing things out. But I do think we need a straight man there, sort of bounce off Leslie Jones, sort of do the play, like, let her be the color.
All right. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but maybe she'll get better with this season.
Yeah, you could see that, because I don't know what order they've taped these in. They might be the first one. It could be a middle one. But, like, I went back today because I had time. I went and watched an old episode, and the sweep, I felt like, flowed much better when we have a more direct play-by-play of what people were doing. And I think, like, that was missing a little bit. I feel like she was getting so passionately involved, I think is great. But I think if you have, like, a two-person booth calling it, I think it would have been more fun.
I agree, especially because, like, right, because the old ones, they would let you know how much those things were.
Yeah. And the other
so that was kind of nice, because I couldn't even imagine, like, how much things were worth when they were grabbing for the sweep. So I totally see where you're coming from.
Yeah. The other thing I was not a big fan of was that I feel like there were rules that were told to the contestants, not told to the audience at home. Sort of like they're going for things. At one point, Leslie Jones announced, "Oh, the gold can's in aisle 1." And I'm like, what's the gold can? What is it worth? Why am I going for the gold can? Like, that's something I feel like they should tell us, like, up front, like they did in the old show.
That's true. So maybe they did take this show from the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, because I noticed that, like, and one thing they did get on top here, off the top here, is, like, they brought back David Ruprecht's table. They gave you the shopping list. Let's listen to Leslie Jones's shopping list from the first sweep of the night.
And I'll give you an extra $500 if you can bring me the following items from my personal shopping list. I'm having a me night tonight, so I want a Glade scented candle, a spatula, and a cucumber. Don't ask me what none of it's for. It's me night.
I'm not going to go there, but I just feel like it's not very family friendly for an 8 o'clock hour show.
Yeah, but then again, you want to try to get all the demographic between, like, 18 and, like, you know, whatever that 34 or whatever that demographic is, for the main demographic to sell things. Yeah. So who knows? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they were just feeling a little raunchy, and they're like, let's just roll with it.
Oh, they definitely were feeling raunchy. Trust me on that one as we get through the night. Including our man DC at the checkout counter. Remember him?
Yes. Oh, my God.
Yeah. DC gave us some gems on this show, and here's one of them.
Okay, time to check out the goods, right, DC?
Hey, if you got the goods, I'll check them out.
Wow, that just feels so dirty.
Leslie calling him out, too. That was such a funny line read.
Oh, my God. Like, all these little, like, different characters that it's not the original. There's just, like, it's, like, so different, but, like, so good at the same time.
Yeah. The characters are funny. I will give them that. Like, Richard the Roses guy was weird, and, like, the first contestant screaming at him, "Give me the roses, Richard," because she was taking forever. God. The problem
that was so funny.
Yeah, the problem with cars like him and Beth the barista and all that, like, I get, like, those are things they did in the original show where it's like, okay, you have a chance to, you know, like, make some extra money, but it costs you time. I don't like the fact that it's like, okay, you have to wait for Richard to do his shtick before you get the roses. It should be, I have to decide to waste time myself and pick the roses myself, as opposed to wasting 5 seconds waiting for Richard to go through the whole skit to get to the roses.
Yeah, I mean, though, it was low-key funny, though, because, like, she goes behind the roses, like, or not behind the roses, behind, like, the floral stand.
Yeah.
She's, like, grabbing, she's like, what are you doing? Get out of here. Like,
yeah, I bet you
they didn't tell the contestants half the rules anyway. Like, how we didn't really know the golden can. Yeah. I bet you they didn't get a full thing either. They probably threw this together. They're like, yo, let's just do a supermarket sweep.
Yeah, I think a lot of contestants probably watched the old show and they're like, oh, like, and the old one's like, oh, you grind the coffee yourself. I'll go grab the roses. And then you have this whole thing. I think the better game mechanic is sort of, okay, you want to go for the coffee, make the coffee yourself. You have to waste time, like, not getting things in your cart, but you get the coffee, you get the bonus. That's the way I would like to see the game played, but that's just me.
Hey, maybe it will evolve, Mike. We never know.
It could evolve. I mean, Holy Moly, the show that I talked about with Pete Ponsadori, our friend back in June, like, it evolved tremendously from season 1 to season 2. So maybe we have some of these evolutions coming from year 1 to year 2 of Supermarket Sweep if we get it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like a whole trial and error thing for like the creators and producers and everything.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we get the best part of the show, in my opinion. The sweaters are back, and you get to customize them.
Yeah.
I love that, Rick, that twist on it.
Yeah, I was like, it was nice to see like all different sweaters for like the, different rounds and everything for like the 2 groups of people, of contestants.
Yeah. And apparently I read an interview online with Leslie Jones where she said they didn't tell her about this twist. So the first time she actually saw the sweaters when they came out in them. She had no idea they were customizing them.
That's great. I didn't know that. That's like so funny. It's just nice to have like, so she was like, those were her real reactions, which makes it even better.
It definitely does. I mean, like, I don't know about you, but I feel like if they had them online, I would definitely buy one.
Definitely. Like, Halloween's coming up. They should have, like, maybe planned on doing this, like, 2 weeks in advance, the Supermarket Sweep premiere, and then everyone could be Supermarket Sweep contestants for Halloween.
Yeah, plus, I mean, if you're doing a Zoom Halloween party, you're not, like, going out drinking with your friends or anything like that. You could just rock Supermarket Sweep sweater and just hop on Zoom.
Exactly. I mean, between you and I have a great idea of what I want to be for Halloween. It has been done before, and it has been done a lot, but I haven't done it.
Oh, so you're not going with the traditional costume you have done before?
Oh, yeah, no. I'm doing a costume that will work with my bartending when I bartend on Halloween.
Okay, so we'll save that for, spoiler alert, you are coming back next week. We're going to do a Halloween-themed segment on this show, talk about the haunting of Bly Manor. So we'll discuss that next week.
Yeah, and then if we all follow me on social media, I will also post it on there. But I know I'm jumping the gun, so I will get back to that towards the end.
Yeah, we'll get back to that towards the end. Right now, we'll sort of wrap up Supermarket Sweep. Honestly, the twist of the big sweep at the end, where after you win, you get to the final sweep, where you run through the aisles and find the products. In the past, it was 3 products, you win $5,000. Now it's up to $100,000 as a twist. You find 3, you get $25,000, but they stop the clock on you, and you have to choose: do I risk the 25 and get 30 more seconds, or go for another 25,000, go to 50? And then the same thing happens: you get to 50, you get another 30 seconds to go for the 100. Do you like that twist? Or would you rather just give them 2 minutes and they have to find all 5?
I mean, I like the traditional twist of like, give me the 2 minutes to find the 5, or like however long to find the 5. But I totally see why they chose this. It's like the bigger risk, bigger reward. Like, it could be a super simple, like, riddle or something. Like, the first group of people, like, it might, the clue that they're like, oh yeah, like, let's risk it to do like the 50,000. It was a pretty simple one. But like, you never know what you're going to get. So I guess it's like it's a nice difference than the original.
Yeah, I feel like personally, to me, I would give them 2 minutes and say, okay, you have 2 minutes to find 5 items. You could stop after 3 if you want, but like, I don't like stopping the clock. I feel like it sort of kills the momentum of the excitement.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's supposed to be more suspenseful, but I feel like you and I agree on the same. Like, just give me the 2 minutes, just give me my 5 items, and like, let's wrap it up there.
Yeah, so I think we'll grade this. I think I give this a solid B. Leslie Jones is fun. I think there are things that can make it better, but I think it's got a shot.
Same, especially because we've only seen 1 episode, so you can't jump the gun on giving any A's out. So I would definitely give it a B to a B minus.
The question here is, are you going to keep watching?
100%. It's Sunday evenings besides work. When I come home from work at like 12 o'clock in the morning, early Monday morning, I definitely want to watch Supermarket Sweep before I go to bed.
Okay, so that's a good endorsement. Leslie Jones will be very happy to hear that.
They'll be like, Jesus, this is not who we marketed to.
Hey, it'll work. They get the DVR points.
True.
All right, let's go on to another item we're talking about this week, which is a much more serious thing than the one we just talked about, for sure.
What, like a good 180 here?
Yeah, we're going from the completely funny, off the walls, like making dirty jokes Supermarket Sweep to a West Wing special on HBO Max, the stage play version, West Wing's When We All Vote, to support the When We All Vote initiative. I was intrigued with this idea. I admit I was on and off with West Wing back in the day. What was your history with that show?
So I was planning on taking a West Wing class back in college, but I didn't have the semester hours, so instead I binged the entire season over a span of like a couple of weeks. So I watched it like when I was in college, probably in like a pretty integral time in my life. I really thought it was great TV. I still would like to be put in the TV scene, you know what I mean, to be part of the television world. So West Wing, I thought, was a very well-written show. Like, my whole family actually watched it. So when I heard that there was this quote-unquote revival, I thought it was like a revival, like they like added more to the story, because I misunderstood. But I didn't know it was a play of the same, of an episode they did previous, like that they already had.
Yeah, so what's going on here is they reunited the cast. They did a stage play version of one of their episodes. They aired in season 3 called Hartsfield Landing. Basically, it's an election-themed episode where President Bartlett's solving a crisis in China, while at the same time, like, they're trying to campaign for votes in Hartsfield Landing, New Hampshire, which is the first state to cast part in the country to cast its votes on election day. I think, obviously, the story episode, if you've seen it, you know exactly what happens. Not going to waste your time recapping it, but a couple things I do think. I like the way they use the stage to make it feel like West Wingy. Sort of like they had the doors, they had the chess games going on. Like, this was a good episode to do that with.
Oh, definitely. And, like, anytime you take a television to the stage is live, everything is cohesive. Like, there's no breaks. I thought they did a great job with the transitions and everything, too.
Yeah, they did a good job using the space. I remember the one shot where they had the upper shot, like the aerial shot of, like, I forget the character's name, but like when she was talking on the phone, supposed to be outside the White House in front of the fence. The way they shot that, where they gave you the overhead look and made it look like she was just standing on the fence. They didn't give you any of the background. I thought that was a great use of stage space.
Oh, definitely. They did. I mean, I'm sure they got people who exactly knew who they were doing. You know how Cedar starved right now due to the New York band. So I'm sure those people were like working extra hard.
Yeah. Before this begins, though, they do give you an intro from Bradley Whitford, one of the cast members of the show, explaining why it's going on and the importance of supporting the When We All Vote initiative. What did you think of that?
It was like funny. It was interesting that they mentioned, like, people don't like to listen to like actors and whatnot, but like they're like, it feels like our responsibility to put this on, because people don't realize how much their vote does count in the long run. It was just like, it was a nice episode because it speaks well to 2020.
It does. And one thing that makes this episode different, and I think it's worth checking out if you're a West Wing fan, is obviously the great John Spencer passed away in season 7. So, like, they had to recast the role of the survival. So they brought in Sterling K. Brown from This Is Us fame to play Leo. What did you think of his performance in the episode?
Oh, he's great. He's an excellent actor. I've always thought that. So it was like, it was interesting to see because it's like, you watch it and, all this episodes he's in as Leo. He has like that specific sound, the vernacular, because he's a person, so he sounds different. But I thought Sterling K. Brown did an excellent job as Leo because he's an excellent actor.
He is a fantastic actor. I remember my first experience with Sterling K. Brown was when he played Chris Darden in the People vs. O.J. Simpson miniseries. He was spectacular in that.
I think mine was watching him. I think he's in the 100, the CW's the 100.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that was my first Sterling K. Brown introduction. So I remember watching This Is Us, and I'm like, oh man, I know that guy.
Yeah, he was good. I liked his performance. He did a good job. And I also think what was interesting about this was that they sort of, instead of giving you commercials, they gave you like segments with the cast explaining the importances of voting and dispelling some myths ahead of the election. But they also gave you some big cameo appearances from people in the political world and the real world. We had Michelle Obama pop in, Samuel L. Jackson, Lin-Manuel Miranda, President Bill Clinton himself was there. Which one popped to you the most?
Just Samuel L. Jackson, to be honest. I wasn't expecting him. And also, I just have a secret, bond with him that he just doesn't know about.
Does it involve the fact you're both named Sam?
Yes, that and another thing that I shouldn't mention on air.
Okay, we'll leave that one to the imagination for the audience, but Samuel L. Jackson's spot was very, very powerful because it's like you're used to him being in action movies, used to him being Nick Fury on the Avengers, you're used to him being Mace Windu in Star Wars, but he was just Samuel L. Jackson sitting in front of a camera, calmly explaining the importance of issues that impact people around the world, why it's important to vote now, and let's make no secret about this. They claim they're not biased. We clearly know that it's a left-leaning show and they want you to vote for the Joe Biden campaign, but the way they handle it was done very well.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you get these big name people who are important, in our society as of today, and it's just they took their time to come out and speak towards it. So the only unfortunate thing was HBO Max is not for everybody because you have to pay for the subscription. So I feel like it's a little lost because you're just going towards people who might, technically have a little more money. I'm not gonna lie, I bummed my HBO Max off of my mom because I can't afford HBO Max. So it's just I feel like there was a great point, but on the other hand, you're kind of missing a significant demographic in the thing. I'll even go with age demographic because a lot of us people our age don't have the access or the financial funds to have HBO Max.
I also think a lot of the people in this demographic also may not have heard The West Wing or seen the show before, so I feel like it's tough on a service like this.
That's true. You're trying to get the younger generations to go out and vote. I know you're trying to get everybody to vote, but you're trying to go for the younger generations. You're bringing in Michelle Obama. You're bringing in Lin-Manuel Miranda. Those are people who are big names for people our age. But it's just I feel like you're just missing the whole. Maybe these people can't afford HBO Max.
I also think the way they should approach this also is they could look at it and sort of release those spots on YouTube, like Michelle Obama's thing and Lin-Manuel Miranda's bit and Samuel L. Jackson's bit. I think putting those on YouTube, would also be very effective.
Yeah, I mean, because I can't tell you. So I watched The West Wing on Netflix back in the day. I don't know if it's still on there or it's only on HBO Max now. But if you had The West Wing on Netflix, I'd have to double check to see if it's still on there. And why not make a deal with Netflix to release it on there? For the good of all.
Yeah, that's true. I'm checking it, and Netflix does have The West Wing still. I did check on that, but I think it might have been more HBO was looking for is willing to finance this thing and bring all the cast back together. I don't know what Netflix wanted to flex their financial muscle on that.
I guess you're right. We don't know the, behind the scenes discussions because we're not privy to that information.
Yeah, we are not. And I think it's worth checking out if you have HBO Max. I would not go out of my way to buy a subscription just for that. But if you can do the Sandbat, then just bum a password off a friend and check it out. I think it's worth it.
Definitely. It's definitely worth it if you can get it for free.
You definitely can. And one little surprise for you, did not put in the rundown, but I do want to get your reaction to it. Are you aware that there's actually a synopsis out for Space Jam 2?
There's what?
They put out a plot teaser.
I didn't see that.
Well, I did pull it. I want to get your reaction to this on the air. So this is actually leaked by, I think, the studio a couple of weeks ago. And this thing is bonkers. I'm going to tell you this right now. So I want to get your instant reaction.
Okay.
This is from the Universal, whichever studio makes this. And we start out here. During a trip to the Warner Brothers studio, NBA superstar LeBron James and his son accidentally get trapped within a world that contains all of Warner Brothers' stories and characters under the control of a malfunctioning, all-powerful force named Al G, played by Don Cheadle. It reads, with the help of Bugs Bunny, LeBron must navigate through a narrow imagined world filled with iconic movie scenes and characters as they reassemble the Looney Tunes to rescue his lost son. Now to get back home, LeBron and the Tunes had to unravel Al G's mysterious plan when an epic basketball game against digital gamified super versions of the NBA and WNBA's biggest stars the entire world watches. That's the plot of Space Jam 2.
That's so interesting.
I told you it's bonkers because this is completely out of left field from what I thought it was going to be.
Same. Also, they better have Scooby-Doo in there.
Yeah, because they
That's all I gotta say.
yeah, because I think they've seen footage where they talk about, like, there's a lot of clips from other Warner Brothers movies in there. There's rumors that, like, they'll have him pop up in, like, something with the Joker world, something with Scooby-Doo, like, sort of this run the gamut.
Oh, that's so true. The WB has Batman and stuff.
Yeah. So I think sounds like they're gonna sort of run LeBron through all of these old classic movies before they even get to the basketball game.
Yeah, he's gonna. I mean, that'd be cool if they get to animate him as like different characters. We'll have to see though. I don't like to start guess too much because then I sometimes make myself upset.
Yeah. So has this gotten you more intrigued or less intrigued for this?
I'm actually way more intrigued just because I'm like curious to see what it's gonna be like.
Yeah. I'm very curious. So the name Al G for the bad guy is a little like cliched.
Yeah, he just sounds like the stuff that grows in your pool.
Yeah, they could have done better.
Mhm.
Yes, I can't tell.
Well, we don't know what he looks like, so I always like to put like the pause on my judgment just in case it's like, oh, that's funny. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's some like sort of like joke or whatever in there.
Yeah, they got Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle's got a good sense of humor.
I like Don Cheadle.
Yeah. Yeah, bring some of that War Machine energy to this role.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, as we do here, we'll wrap this up. Before next week, we're going to be as mentioned earlier, talking about Bly Manor. We'll talk about little unsolved mysteries on there. I got to start watching those. I'm behind on that. But what else have you been watching?
I just finished those today. I am the worst.
Yeah. So what else have you watched besides those?
Honestly, like I've been trying to take things slow, but I've been trying now. Pause with me. I've been trying to get into certain animes because I feel like I'm missing the boat on certain animes. I'm not doing a good job watching them, but right now I watch Bly Manor and Unsolved Mysteries and Evil on Netflix too. Oh, I totally forgot. My all-time favorite, What We Do in the Shadows on Hulu, which is an FX show. I highly recommend that. I should have wrote a post-it note because I was like, you know who would appreciate this show? Mike. And I almost forgot to say it. I'm so glad I remembered last second.
I never heard of it. What is it about?
It's like a mockumentary. So there's a movie called What We Do in the Shadows, and it's based on that. And it's a mockumentary of vampires in Staten Island, or at least the show is. I didn't get to watch the movie yet. I apologize. Anybody who's like a big fan of the movie/show. And it's so funny. It's a little gory because they're vampires, but let me tell you, I binge watched it in like 3 days, and it's like a 2-season show right now.
That does sound pretty good. I'll put it on the list to check it out. One thing I've started since we last started here, The Amazing Race finally returned to CBS after these poor people had to wait 2 years for their season to come out. The first episode dropped. It's got a pair of former NFL players on it.
Oh my god! And that's so funny because I was thinking about starting it just because you watch it and you really love it. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll have something to talk to Mike about.
Yeah, I would recommend it. D'Angelo Williams and Gary Barnage, who used to play in the NFL together with Carolina, they are running the race this season. And the first episode aired last week on Wednesday. Second episode is airing night of recording. They were a lot of fun. I also learned apparently they cosplay together.
Oh, really?
Yes.
And did you start The Bachelorette? Because you said you might watch it.
I might watch it. I've been sort of living off the spoilers. I sort of just like get reactions from people and watch clips online. I have not gotten a chance to watch the full episodes.
I mean, I understand because every week's only like 10 new minutes of information. So like, or new footage. Everything else is just recap / like preview from like for next week. So I understand, but it's really funny. This Bachelorette, who is Claire for, past listeners who end up listening to this episode, she's literally she's too much. She's way too much. Yeah,
it is pretty bonkers. The thing that's hard to sell for me is that the episode's 2 hours long, which is a lot in a given week. So, like, for me, as somebody who, or somebody who does commit, like, I admit this is a poor life decision on my part. I committed 3 hours a week to Big Brother. Adding 2 for The Bachelorette seems like a poor life choice.
I mean, that's understandable. All you have to do is probably just like follow Stango on Twitter. Yeah. And he'll probably like live tweet it for you.
Yeah, John Stanko's a great follow on that. I keep up with him, and you also give me some information. So between you two, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely. I think you're good.
Yeah, I think this is good. Sam, this is a lot of fun. I want to thank you for coming on. Before I let you go, how do people follow on social media? Give us some of the stuff you're up to.
Well, all right. If you want to follow me on the good old Twitter, it's at DEROS5. And then on Instagram, Derosa175. Not going to lie, I pulled up my Twitter account, so I didn't mess it up this week because I'm the worst at remembering any of my handles. So that's fun.